Hey everybody, welcome to another Fun in 5. Bringing you today a prototype of a game called Quests and Cannons by Short Hop Games. So this is the game I had the privilege of being delivered just for the chance to play it before it launches on Kickstarter, which is happening in September. Now, why do I think this game is fun? So normally I don't do games before they're launched while they're still active in Kickstarter, but this one was a great opportunity because the fun just shouted out from a distance. So first off, the world, the environment of the game. I know I talk about theme a lot in these videos, and this one rings true just as much. So this is a kind of a fun fantasy, family-friendly setting, and you play with different characters that are from different factions. So there are the Dwunnies, which are the dwarf bunnies. There are Porks, which are like pig orcs. And then there are Delves, which are kind of like duck elves. So I like how they blended and created this anthropomorphic fantasy genre and have little stories behind why these characters are working both with each other but also against each other to try to get the resources to keep their communities thriving, whether it's in the Delvin islands in the sky, or the pork on the ground, or the Dwunnies underground under the giant tree. It's just really neat how they bring all this immersive fantasy together in this world. And even though you don't need to play in that world to play the game, it's just nice to see that environment there. I think that's a fun aspect of it. There's no harsh, blood-curdling zombies or dragons that are going to tear your heart out type of thing. As much as I love those games, this one offers a lighter take on it, which makes it family friendly, but still very strategic. And even the way you play with the ships on the boards and go along the islands, that piratey-esque atmosphere blends with the fantasy very, very well. So I just love how it all melds together and creates for a good, fun environment when you get into the game. You're not worried about dangers, really. You're just there to have some fun. So that's the first thing I like about Quests and Cannons. Second thing I like is that the maps and the clues. I like the travel aspect of the game. So this is a game where you can explore. There are some secrets on here you can see with the question marks, and when you reveal those, you get a coin, you get a quest card, and you can then purchase or acquire those goods by spending an action. And it's kind of like a pick up and deliver mechanic. You can pick up the canvas and put it onto your board. You can pick up lumber or metal or gems or spice. So there's 5 different resources you can collect when you're exploring the board. And I like that. That's through these quest cards that will tell you some things that you can do. And they're optional. But what I like this form of exploration game is you're not trapped by the one card that you happen to pick up. You get enough cards in this game. You can always have 3 and rotate through them at any time. If you don't want to do a quest, you don't have to. So I like the fact that I have a choice if I want to do this quest or not. I'm not forced to do it because it's the only quest I got. You'll get plenty of quests in the game, and you get to decide what routes are most beneficial to you, what's the closest, what's the easiest to get to, what can you go around turbulent waters, what resources do you have that would benefit your quests. I think that's a really cool aspect to it. And kind of tethered to that, there's also map clues. So map clues are like quests, except you don't need any resources. You just have to go to that part of the map, and that can get you some loot. So the game gives you many different reasons as to why you should travel around the board. You may have to go to certain ports or to certain islands or to a trading post to do what you need to do to acquire some victory points, but you're never trapped inside of it. So I like that fact that you can explore and you should explore, but you don't have to explore in a certain way, and that makes it a fun game. Third thing I like is about the, it kind of ties into that traveling aspect, and that is your ship. You can't travel without a ship. So these ships are very fancy dual layer boards. I don't know if they'll be this thick in the final version. These are from the Game Crafter. So it's a nice thick dual layer, but really high quality, and it shows what the creator is trying to envision when they make these boards. So I love them. There are 6 of those that come with the game, and I'll bring this up on the screen, of course, but the cool part about these ships is that you can upgrade them. So you're not just tied into everybody having the same ship. Each character has some different attributes in the number of sails or cannons or crates that they have on their board when they start with, but then you can go to ports and you can upgrade and get additional sails to be able to go further on each turn. You can pick up new cannons if you're more into warfare and want to take down those enemy ships like a true pirate might, or you can pick up extra crates. You can build new crates into your board so that you can hold more goods, so you can go on longer travels before you have to go and complete your quests or deliver your goods. So that development aspect of the board is really cool. And the other part you can do to develop your board is these equipment cards. You can acquire loot with shipment cards and just kind of buff it up through different ways. So I think that's a cool aspect of it. Fourth thing I like is the modular board. So you'll see on the board here, it's built out of basically triangular tiles. So I pick one of these up here. And each of these triangular tiles has either turbulent water or dangerous water or islands or just calm water. And they can be rearranged in different ways. The game gives you all kinds of ways that you can set it up. But you can also build your own map, which makes it completely replayable in different, I guess, scenarios or layouts. So I don't think the layout matters a ton because you can still eventually go to those islands if you spend enough travel points. But the pre-set up ways make sure that a lot of the islands are equidistant and that it's fair for the player count. So I do like that they provide those pre-setups, but that you can also do your own thing and make your own map if you wish to. So that modular board, if you think of games like Catan or other games where you can build your own format of board, I think that's a cool part of it. And it's like putting a little puzzle together before you even start your game. How do you want to make the board? I think the prototype has some numbering on here that will be embellished when the final game comes out to make it really easy to put the puzzle together. And then the last thing I like about the game is the game modes. So many games can tout that they can be played in many different modes. I've made games where you can play in different modes, and it can be a challenge from a creator and a designer perspective. And so sometimes people will shy away from games that offer all these different modes. I think this game does it very, very well. So you can play a player versus player mode from 2 to 6 players. No problem with that. You set up the board. You're kind of on a race to get a certain amount of victory points. That part is done well. You could play in a cooperative mode, so you could have 2 players just trying to acquire things in a certain amount of time. You could play in a 2 versus 2 mode or a 3 versus 3 mode where you're kind of teaming up, trying to race for the most points as teams. And then there's a solo mode as well. So all of these different modes give you lots of variety and decisions and play how you want to play. And I like that part about the game. I think that's another fun factor, especially when you're doing a family game. Like if you're trying to teach younger kids how to play, the first few times you play, you might want to play co-op so you guys can figure out what the best strategies are and work together. But then once the young ones are more into it, and they may want to delve out and play against you and see if they can beat Ma or Pa, and that can be fun as well. So there you have it. That is Quests and Cannons, Fun in 5 video for you, and just sharing my thoughts about why I think this game is fun. I think it's going to do very, very well on Kickstarter. The creators have done a fantastic job in building the components, getting people to play it, getting reviewers out there all over the globe to participate and share their thoughts on it. And I think you can't go wrong with a game like this if you've got a young family and you want to get them into gaming, or if you've got an experienced gaming group and you want something a little bit lighter that you can play in an hour and just have some fun with some lighter fanfare instead of that heavy campaign setting that you might get in some other fantasy games. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Take care.